Hello everyone and welcome to the dumbest newspaper article on farming, and today I have another theory that you just won't believe. An infinite number of universes and an endless number of possibilities. Many believe that our universe might just be one of countless parallel realities, each appearing similar to our own on first appearance but vastly different underneath the surface. And it's the same with video games. Think about it. Even though we might all play the same games, each player's experience will be different. In one universe, Mario will defeat Bowser and save the Mushroom Kingdom without taking a hit, but in another, he dies to the first Goomba and all hope is immediately lost. Even the simplest of games are comprised of thousands, millions, possibly billions of alternative universes for everyone that ever attempts to play them. And when it comes to a complicated game with countless variables such as Pokémon, well, the potential for parallel universes would be mind-bogglingly high. There's the name of your trainer, your choice of gender, your chosen starter Pokemon, their randomly generated sex, IVs and nature, the potion you may or may not take from your PC, and that's just within the first few minutes of gameplay. So it's safe to say that no one Pokemon adventure will end up exactly the same. Your quest to become a Pokemon Master, whatever the heck that entails, has more alternative paths to take than a Snakes and Ladders board the size of the moon. I'm sure most people, when asked which video game world they'd most like to live in, they would choose the Pokemon world. Even setting aside how awesome it would be to train and live with what are basically more powerful and intelligent animals, the world appears to be far more idealistic and happy than the average video game location. But would it really be as pleasant to live in as appearances first suggest? Just off the top of my head, you've got an endless supply of 21-foot long sea serpents, each one ferocious enough to wreck a city, living in every patch of water in Sinnoh, terrifying locations like Lavender Town, evil teams hell-bent on world domination or even destruction, and the only hope to stop them is a kid who started their Pokemon adventure only a few days ago, blah blah blah, you've heard this all before. Pokemon is actually quite terrifying, yes we get it, ha ha ha, fucking shut up, oh my god. Living in such a dangerous world would be seriously stressful, so to ease the tension, some players might opt to make their lives easier by using cheat devices to gain the upper hand. Make every Pokemon encounter a shiny, instant egg hatching, change your Pokemon's attack to anything you want, the list goes on. But be warned, game creators don't take kindly to you destroying the structure of their masterpieces. As a counter-measurement against cheaters, if something in your game doesn't match up checksums properly, you might start encountering bad eggs. From the third generation of Pokemon onwards, these terrifying little Robotnik wannabes have been visiting naughty little trainers with no respect for fair play. They come in many different shapes and sizes, some appear in the 19th slot of box 1 in your PC, others will show up in the wild, some can be hatched while others can't, and so on. But whatever type of Kinder Surprise you get, they all appear to share the same purpose, to screw up your game even further, to scare the bejesus out of you and goad you into admitting your foul play and starting a new adventure, this time free from corruption. Bad eggs can crash the game when you just check their information. Catching them and reading their Pokédex entry has the same effect, and in some cases they can even wipe your save data completely. And if you attempt to get rid of them, well my friend, you've got an uphill struggle ahead of you, that's for sure. So you might just think that bad eggs are simply a way for game creators to punish cheaters and nothing more. But, I have information that could turn your world upside down. Tie yourself down, because you're about to be blown away, or your money back. In the Sinnoh region, the Canalave City Library has many books all about the lore and history about the world of Pokemon. One story in particular sparked my interest and freaked me the hell out. Just hear what it has to say. In the beginning, there was only a churning turmoil of chaos. At the heart of chaos, where all things became one, appeared an egg. Having tumbled from the vortex, the egg gave rise to the original one. This original one to which the book refers to is clearly Arceus, and by the way I refuse to pronounce his name as Arceus because arse is the British equivalent of ass, and you know me, I'm a butt guy to the core. Arceus is said to be the creator of the entire Pokemon universe. He is practically the god of the series. However, the part about the quote turmoil of chaos unquote has always troubled me. According to my dictionary, a turmoil is a state of great disturbance, confusion or uncertainty. But what does that mean exactly, and what could have been happening before Arceus hatched from that egg and shaped the world? Do you see what I'm driving at here? Okay, very well, let me spell it out for you. I believe that the egg Arceus hatched from was none other than a bad egg. That's right, bad eggs and Arceus eggs are one and the same. Compare the Pokemon universe to our own for a moment. How can we say for sure there wasn't another universe that existed before ours billions and billions of years ago, before the Big Bang? In fact, we already have proof that there was, and his name is Galactus. So continuing with that line of thought, what if there was also another Pokemon universe, or to be more accurate, a previous save file for your game cartridge that existed before you started your adventure? And what if there was another universe before that one, and so on and so on? Arceus, being the all-seeing and all-knowing being that he is, watches the player's every move. This is why the games have a top-down view. You're actually seeing the game through the Pokemon God's eyes. He knows when you're awake, and he definitely knows if you've been bad or good. When using a cheat device to mess around with the game, Arceus is left absolutely fuming at the player's lack of respect for the perfect universe that he and his many arms formed so long ago. He may be a god, but he's got one heck of a temper on him. Just see how well he responds to deceit in the 12th Pokemon movie. Or heck, just see what happened to Giratina. He was being a bit of a scoundrel, so what did Arceus do? He banished him to another world. Unhappy with the damage done to his work, Arceus takes drastic action. He inserts himself into the world and tries all he can to join the player's Pokemon roster in the form of a bad egg, maybe even forcing himself to appear in the player's PC. He then hopes that his presence will either destroy the world, or to be more accurate, the current save file, to force the player to start a new game/world. And the second the old save file is gone, the bad egg hatches Arceus and he creates a new world, which can be played by selecting new game on the main menu. The book in Canalave City described the universe before Arceus' egg hatched as a turmoil of chaos, but keep in mind that the writer of this book was extremely unlikely to have known everything about the event, and as legends get passed from generation to generation, many details are bound to become foggy over the ages. In actuality, turmoil of chaos is a loose way to describe a universe much like the current one residing in your Pokemon cartridge, but it became corrupted and Arceus was forced to destroy it by turning into a bad egg and start things afresh. So there you have it. Just when you thought Pokemon couldn't be any more deceptively dark under the saccharine surface, before you even select new game, millions, possibly billions, maybe trillions of universes and lives have already been destroyed by those careless players who thought they could get away with cheating. Now I know what you're thinking. Bad eggs first showed up in the 3rd generation, a full gen before Arceus' debut in Generation 4. But there's always been references to later generations before they arrive. Who could forget when Ash and Pikachu saw Ho-Oh in the very first episode of the anime, over 2 years before Pokemon Gold and Silver launched in Japan? And what about Pokemon XD, a 3rd generation game that let you control a 4th gen Pokemon, Bonsly, in the Battle Bingo? So in conclusion, from a game perspective, bad eggs are a mechanic implemented by the game's creators to punish cheaters for corrupting their games, but from a story perspective, they are a way for the universe's creator to get back at those for damaging his universe. So kids, you better watch out, you better not bleep, because Daddy Arceus is making sure you don't cheat, and as for me, I don't think my Arceus can take any more pulling, so I'm out of here. Good night.